Trade Along Live session, or Trade Along Live with Saul. This is an everyday experience for traders that are looking to catch an edge in their trading on a daily basis. Saul gives out his proprietary scalping levels in the S&P 500 E-mini. We go through the morning session together. We'll be doing that again today. We're coming back and doing it tomorrow. TradeAlongLive.com is the opportunity to join us based on the webinar link to this Trade Along Live with Saul. If you're new to trading, let us know. We'll be glad to help you get set up in our Trading Academy, where we'll take you from start right through the program and hopes to develop you into the best trader you can be and head into consistent profitability, or heading to consistent profitability. We take experienced traders into the academy and help them really refocus their efforts based on their trading, help keep what they got that's working, shed the stuff that's not. We could add in price action trading into the mix. It's a unique opportunity for traders. It's all done with the power of Zoom technology. So you have the ability to share charts, interact with Saul, communicate, talk to him on a personal and private level, work with him on a personal and private level as you are developing and honing your newfound trading skills. One of the things that is really neat about the Trading Academy is that it gives you the opportunity to join Saul in his Trade Along Live sessions as a bonus to Saul's trading education, mentoring, training that he provides based on his Trading Academy. It's all detailed on the website, TradeAlongTradingAcademy.com, TradeAlongTradingAcademy.com. And again, if you have a friend or an associate that you'd like to come in, it's TradeAlongLive.com, TradeAlongLive.com. Take the time to sign up for one of our services. It is discounted at the moment based on Saul's Trade Along Live session this session. You can do that by going to these links and signing yourself up. If you can't do that, I'm not sure how you can trade when it comes to the ease of how we set it up. And then we also have the website for you, which is the TradeAlongTradingAcademy.com, which is all self-evident. Hey, Dean, how are you today? Happy New Year to everybody. 2022, I believe, is going to be a great year for trading. I think it's a great year for Saul to help you based on his mentoring and training in the Trading Academy. And remember, the training part is in this side of the equation, the Trade Along Live session, this session. This session is both a standalone opportunity to receive Saul's levels and have him as your wingman. That's why we call it Trade Along Live with Saul. It's a great opportunity from a educational point of view on a daily basis to really tighten up your focus and trading in and around Saul's proprietary scalping levels and zones. Starts out with a pivot and other levels on top and bottom of that pivot. These become the actionable go areas for Saul's trading, and he showcases that during the morning session. Remember, you are trading between you and your broker at your own risk. This is an educational opportunity only. The Trading Academy is a opportunity to learn how to trade and then come into this side of the equation, this Trade Along Live session, as a proving ground and an access point to Saul as you're applying your newfound trading skills. You know, it gets no better than that based on, in my humble opinion, based on the opportunity to be schooled and schooled and schooled until you are proficient and the best trader you can be based on your trading career. It's a great place to start, especially if you have money on the line. Remember, money is key Capital preservation is key, and we're here to help you do that. Again, if you're non-responsive, we don't hear from you, or you're just rope-a-doping in the background, then we have a hard-hearted bot that will kick you out if you're not a paid member of the service. So if you are a guest, you got a couple days to figure it out. If you've been a guest for a while and you've been rope-a-doping, then the bot will get you. If the bot gets you, I'm going to give you our telephone number and Skype name. Our Skype name is Market VU, MarketVU, Market VU. Our telephone number in Chicago is 312-685-2582. That's 312-685-2582. So if you find yourself in Zoom limbo by getting exited from our service, then reach out because you've been rope-a-dope too long. Hey, Kent, how are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all. Make 2022 your best year ever when it comes to your trading. We'll be happy to assist you based on that opportunity. But remember, you have to play ball. I can't stress that enough. That trading is about taking action, and obviously the right action. And you have the ability to learn and earn here if you choose to do it. Haj, how are you? Hey, Philip. Pat, how are you? Carr. Johnny Z. How are you, Johnny Z? Jim T. Edward. I try to reach out to everybody that comes into our service and say hello. If you want to talk privately on the telephone, let us know. Use the chat feature.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you're still alive over there. What did the snowman get you or what?
Do you know that for some reason, I had in my head that we were off on Monday?
Well, yeah.
So I just lollygagged until somebody told me. Well, and then I saw your text. And it was so warm and fuzzy for the new year that I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, let's give you our levels for
and the fruit basket was unbelievable. I've never seen a tower of treats like that in my entire
Well, you got to keep it healthy for you.
That's right. It was a tower of treats, all sorts of great delicacies and fruits and all sorts of things from all over the world. I mean, thank you so much. You're just
all right, let's go.
I just love it, you know.
Oh boy. So he misses a day. He can't stop. He can't shut him up. All right, our pivot this morning is 48.02. 48.02. Support below at 795, 47.95, 89, 81, 72. Resistance on the upside at 08, 15, 24, and 30. And again, remember, we are opening up here at all-time highs. So be very mindful and careful of these levels on the upside. Yesterday, we talked about getting long above the 60 area. And the market just slowly did its one-way trade after that into the late afternoon. Not a surprise, not the best trade for us, but we kind of warned you about that as we left, as the trade in the afternoon gets exceptionally slow and one-way-ish, and that was a perfect example yesterday. So if anybody has any questions, welcome. We are trading mini S&Ps here. Trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market. We're trying to find areas of inflection. We believe markets will rotate off to give us a chance to scalp the market, and depending on volatility at any given day, that's where our stops would be and our targets. So right now, with the way it's trading, probably about 2 to 3 points. And remember, yesterday, mid-morning, I should say, they kind of opened up the floodgates there for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, we had to change our targets a little bit, and then it slowly crept back as the afternoon trade took effect, back to the really slow, non-exciting trade. But it is what it is, so we take each day as it comes. Welcome. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat box. If you look at the chat box area, we're going to have the levels printed there for you that you can use as a guide for the day. And again, they are just a guide. We can add those, subtract from them, tweak them a little bit, adjust them, all depending on the price action and what the market delivers from like minute to minute, right? I mean, we are trading a futures contract, so anything can change at any moment. We're not, we don't love any trade that we put on, so that's why we are always mindful of the fact that we're going to keep our pivots in place and then go from there. All right. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat box area. All right, we're just kind of floating back and forth there. Did bounce off of our blue band to 4,800 area a little bit. And then now just coming slowly into the range it's been at most of the morning. You can tell it's been very, very slow. Now, this is what happens when the markets kind of do this one-way trade to the upside. It's doesn't go anywhere fast. And just the trade is, they definitely suck the volatility out of the market. We have to be very patient and obviously keep your stops in place, especially since we're pushing up against new all-time highs here. And it is what it is. VIX is down to a 16 handle. We were so happy yesterday. We were at an 18 handle for just that 1 hour that it created that volatility, and then all of a sudden they just sucked out some of the slow rally back up. Just was very, very slow and not too exciting after that. But it is what it is, and again, we take each day as it comes. We like to average 4 or 5 trades a day. I think yesterday we were easily around there, if not more, and some of you did more, some of you did less, which is okay. You have to take the trades that you feel comfortable taking, that you recognize and visualize. We're always looking for trades, reasons to trade. And if you don't, if we have a logical reason that's worked for you in the past, in our methodology, some of the concepts and setups that we have plenty. Your job is to find the setups that fit your eye and so you can recognize and understand why it works. Always have reasons, always have a reason to put on a trade. We try to stay away from the back and forth, going nowhere fast trade, even though markets yesterday were a little range bound, but it wasn't going anywhere. So we tried to keep you out of it and wait for the opportunities when they presented themselves. And I think we did okay, given again the price action opportunities that we had, even though the market did speed up a little bit there for just an hour, and then somebody suggested a fat finger trade yesterday because there was no other reason for the market to do what it did. And at least they were trying to find a reason for it, and they couldn't. And so they went and decided it was a fat finger trade. So that is what they said that was the reason for the little jolt to the downside yesterday. Fat finger concept or idea that comes in is, remember, and some of you are a little bit older, when they had when they first came out with keypads on the computers, they had a 0 and a 00, and so sometimes if you wanted to do 100, you could do 1 and then 00, or or you can do 1 and a 00, right? Well, if you wanted to do 100 and you pushed a 00 twice, instead of doing 100, you're doing 10,000, and then all of a sudden became that's the adage of where the fat fingers trade came from. They obviously took that out from there, and they don't have those 00s, at least not on my keypad, so, but that's what they call it. So another fat finger trade would be, I pressed too many zeros, wanted to only push 3, press 4, whatever. Got stuck. Anyway, that's the reason that they said the market went down yesterday, which again is a reason that is not a reason, but because they have to give a reason, that's what they said as we slowly uptick here a little bit. But it was a good buying opportunity. We did have the low down there, did create an opportunity for us. Kind of felt most part really did not take that much heat on it. As we come up here to the 08 area, trade the 08 area and see what it wants to do here. If you're too nervous about trading all-time highs, then just kind of wait and let the market give you another opportunity. It's one of those things that trading all-time highs is kind of tough. I would be first to admit. It's not that easy to do as it is. Where could you have gotten long? Could have gotten long there around the even area. If you were a little aggressive, you could have found a reason to get long. Again, we are trying to find reasons to trade. Not every reason always going to work every time. As a nice little rotation here off of our 08, and you should have got filled at 08 there. It was a perfect sell. Hopefully some of you were able to participate, take advantage of that little trade for us, and I got a nice rotation here, giving us easily 3 points. So not too bad, getting the first trade in the first 10 minutes of the day. And hopefully, and this was, you gotta love the ones that you don't have to sweat out. You don't have to work, all right? Sometimes you gotta work a trade. This one, obviously, you didn't have to work too hard. You just gotta put it in, stopped right there, rotated nicely. Don't have to think. It's one of those no-brainers. It's always a nice concept to have every now and then. Makes up for those ones that you have to work a little bit. Of course, you don't remember the ones that are easy because they're easy, and you always remember the bad ones. It's all right. Happens to me all the time. You definitely dwell on the bad ones, that's for sure. All right, so nice rotation there against our 08 area. Next level on the upside we have is up at 15. As we start 2022 on the upside with all-time highs here, like we talked about yesterday, the market in 2170 all-time highs. Considering it was the year after Trump, nobody thought that the market would continue to go up. Lo and behold, the market continues to go up. And in the midst of interest rate hikes possibility, and in the midst of transitory inflation possibilities, in the midst of COVID, it's amazing, right? All these negatives, market just shrugs it off. First trading day of 2022 resulted in a historic day for U.S. stock market as Apple became the first company to reach a historic valuation of 3 trillion with a T. The tech giant crossed the market cap milestone in the afternoon trading, with shares climbing 3% to $182, lifting investors' confidence was the belief that Apple will keep launching best-selling products as it explores new markets like self-driving electric cars, augmented reality glasses, and possibly the metaverse. Metaverse. Okay. The only other company that is currently in Apple's market cap ballpark is Microsoft, with a valuation of $2.5 trillion. Google, parent of Alphabet, recently slipped out of the $2 trillion club, and it's valued at 193 in market cap. On Monday, it took Apple just a year and a half to tack on at least $1 trillion after it reached a $1 trillion valuation in mid 2018, $2 trillion in August of 2020, and then now 3. Being the first company to join the $3 trillion club is a flex muscle moment for Apple's CEO Tim Cook and company, said some analysts. The company continues to prove doubters wrong, with the renaissance of growth story playing out. He thinks that the iPhone 13 is going to have some strong demands. Well, not only are rates are low as they are, that's helping the market go up, but also, no, you don't. The tax cuts from Trump also, the corporate tax cuts from Trump is also helping the situation. I mean, they don't pay any taxes with all the money they're making, so that money goes back into buybacks and bottom line. And you have $3 trillion company that doesn't pay basically a lot of taxes, so that's what happens. That's amazing, actually, that that's going on, but that's another story. All right, we are just slowly floating back, coming back down here. Again, maybe if you wanted to buy the pivot there at 02 when that rotation off of the highs, maybe you could have jumped in, but I wouldn't do it this time. Again, everybody trades a little bit differently, different risk tolerances. So not everybody trades the same. Sometimes you've taken a little bit more than 2 or 3 points on your trades based on your risk tolerance and how you manage a trade, how many contracts you put on. All these things are concepts that you should trade with, one that are comfortable for you as a trader, not to trade how somebody else is trading. Fundamentally, that's correct, but people are not going to work. I guess they're spending money at home. I don't know. There's it just fundamentally that's correct, because interest rates were so low and everything was hunky dory, and the Fed was pumping in a lot of money. So yeah, I would agree with you there, but still, the fact that they want to raise interest rates, the fact that there's another wave, and the fact that they're tightening are taking away all those fundamentals that were pushing the market forward, and the market just continues to go forward. So it is. Is it surprising? I don't think it's surprising. I just think it's at some point we haven't had a decent correction. Now the bond market now is reacting. Is finally reacting to the threat of some higher interest rates. Why it's doing it makes sense, but the timing doesn't make sense. I mean, this was in the market for the last 2 weeks, and the bond market stayed pretty strong. And all of a sudden, yesterday, 11 basis points to the upside on the tens, and again, they're trading at a 163 yield on the tens, and that's probably going to be a little bit higher this morning as well. So, they were trading at the 149 area more than anything else. So, yeah. I mean, all those factors are there, whether you're talking about the reason why inflation happened or not, and the reason why some places are open, why not. Uh, you know, it's just the market. It doesn't. It looks at it as a whole, I think, and it's not really phased by it all. So I don't know. We'll see. But I tell you, when it will go down, or once it starts rotating a little bit, it's going to go down. I mean, you're going to have some, panic selling. And that's why it always, for traders, for us, you always got to, keep a clear head when that happens, because once they start pushing to the downside, you have to. There's plenty of opportunity, because you do get ebbs and flows. You got to get back and forth a little bit, versus this one-way trade to the upside. As you can tell, there's no volatility up here when it starts going up. But we understand that, and you have to take it with a grain of salt and understand the trade that's there. We do have a small number coming out here at 9 o'clock. ISM Manufacturing Index is coming out here at 9 o'clock at the top of the hour. So in about 11 minutes or so. So keep that in mind if we have any kind of position on. We don't like to have positions on when there are some economic reports that are being released. So we'll keep that in mind here as the top of the hour comes around. So I think they should raise rates. I think it's been a long time coming. You also got to stop the buybacks, right? The buybacks have been keeping, I think, the market very liquid, and they just keep dumping all that money back into the market, and so and I think it adds to the yeah. I mean, they should have raised rates a long time ago. So you do have. It's a tough. Look. I'm not. They had to do what they had to do for the first financial crisis, but then they came out of it bad, and now you have the financial crisis. Now you have the COVID crisis. So they're doing the best that they can with situations that were never written in books about. They're writing books about all this stuff right now and how the Fed's dealing with it and so on and so forth. So, you had to think out of the box a little bit for them to keep things moving along, considering the shock to the market that the market has had to deal with, even though it seems like the COVID shock is uh, not as bad as I think the financial crisis shock was a lot worse. And but and I think that that was the case because the rates were higher then to start going into it. There are the levels for us. So, so they've had to do things that were out of the box, and doing those buybacks and keeping rates at zero, flooding the market with liquidity. Well, everything was good while inflation was down. At some point, this was going to happen. They were trying to make sure that they tried to stave it off, right? They were trying to make sure we're going to watch inflation, this and that, but they never took into account what would happen with COVID, so that they were trying to be maybe a little bit extra accommodating to the market because of COVID, and they called it transitory when inflation was the killer behind their low rate and buyback situation. And when they realized it wasn't transitory, they decided, hey, let's start trying to fix this, and that's where we're at now. So that's the only reason I'm surprised at the market is because the realization that the inflation is not temporary as they once thought, even though the theory there was like something like Pat said was supply and demand, but I think it's beyond that right now. So we'll see. Well, we'll see. It's like I said, whatever books we were reading beforehand about Fed and monetary policy, and they're rewriting it of books these days, so they've got different approaches to it, different things that they're looking at. Then at the same time, you're looking at monetary policy. You're also looking at they also want the government to spend money to keep the economy going. So at the same time they want monetary, they also want fiscal. So it's like they're throwing everything in, which all we can do is trade the market. We don't have an opinion, and take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. We can talk all day about economic uh, concepts and ideas that are out there, but at the end of the day, as long as we get some volatility, we really don't care, right? Because we're not going to be trying to hold things for. Somebody asked me yesterday about that the only way you can make money is trading on a daily chart. That's not what we do here. But I mean, some people do. They're different traders. Yeah, but even I think she's come to the conclusion that you can't have a rates. I mean, they've come to the conclusion that you can't have rates high or low, I should say. All right. Do have a number coming out here in about 3 minutes, so keep that in mind. All right, I didn't know that Verizon and AT&T pulled a 180 on the 5G rollout, agreeing to delay the launch of its new service following pressure from Transportation Secretary Buttigieg. The wireless firm previously declared that they would forge ahead with their plans despite a warning that it could interfere with aircraft electronics. The latest U-turn came after a flurry of calls from the White House. Airlines that threatened legal action, possibly flight restrictions from the FAA that could disrupt air travel and cargo shipment nationwide. The new band of faster 5G wireless service called C-band is located near frequencies used by aircraft equipment to compute altitude. The aviation group and the FAA feared it could put safety at risk, especially in low visibility conditions, but the wireless companies and the FCC, which approved the service, has said that there is no danger. We know aviation safety and 5G can coexist. We are confident that further collaboration and technical assistance will allay any issues. I didn't even know we had a C-band. Verizon has the most at stake to lose here. They spent $45 billion last year to acquire C-band licenses. It also shelled out several more billion in payments to clear away satellite operators that could create interference with cell phone towers on the ground. Telecom industry groups have further pointed out C-band frequencies that are already been deployed worldwide, like in France, say that there's no reported incidents involving 5G and aircrafts. Wow. Who knew? C-band. All right, numbers coming out here momentarily. Hopefully we're flat. We had a nice rotation there against our 08 area. And now we shall see what it wants to do here. Once this number comes out, let it absorb the number, and we'll see if it gives us any other opportunities. Obviously, remember we said the markets go up. They tend to suck out a lot of volatility, and that's where we're at right now. All right, the number's out, kind of not really a big market mover, and just kind of hanging basically the same range. Bonds uptaking a little bit on the news. All right, they're still range bound here. We're stuck in this low range that we're trading at. So the 08 got triggered. Next level on the upside we have is 15. The bond market is kind of just doing its own thing. Trying to come back a little bit. It's been, like I said, they taken a big hit in the bond market over the last few days. Well, yesterday they really tanked it down. Again, you understand why the timing is what the question is. Why did they wait till afternoon? I mean, this was in the books already. But what do I know? Hey, I heard they were talking wind chill in California this morning. That's what I heard. A little wind chill coming in California. Even you guys are starting to understand what wind chill is. Just go step outside. Take care there, Julio. We are still range bound here. Yeah, you get it all the time. You can't even say it right. Bonds a little bit of a rally here into after this number. And seeing what it wants to do. Bonds here S&P's rotating to the downside. Next support level we have is down at the 47.95 area. All right, so we're still a little range bound here. Again, we had a good opportunity off of our first level of resistance early on, and then the market has kind of um, fell into its little range here. So patience is important. We've given you our levels, so we're going to use as a guide for today. If you look at the chat box area, you will see the levels there. That we use those again as a guide. We can add to them, subtract from them. Those were given out when the market opened up here, and again, um, we see the '08 there worked very nicely. That was the high of the day. Maybe they got a new high by a tick when they went retested it, but otherwise it's been very quiet. First support level on the downside is 95, not 99. Should be 47.95. There you go. All right, we've come back up here to our pivot. So again, very quiet day, uneventful so far. We don't know what the day brings. Every day has its own uniqueness to it. Yesterday we were a little bit busier, but today they've decided that we're just going to hang here for a little bit. But you never know when things are going to open up. So all right, we're back in the same range. So again, you have to be patient and wait for opportunities. We cannot create volatility. We just trade it. Obviously, sometimes we trade more volatility, and then sometimes there isn't much. So we're definitely at the mercy of volatility. And those of you who might have come in a little bit late, if you look at the chat box here, you're going to see the levels that we have that are used as a guide to the day. We are trying to scalp the market here. There are many S&Ps looking for 2 to 3 point opportunities off of the levels we gave up, plus also price action opportunities that might occur. Together, we put a methodology that lets you find these levels on your own, find the opportunities that you would take if you were looking for price action opportunities, and the objective of our education course is for you to be able to do this independent of myself, to understand why we would use a level, why it would work, why it wouldn't work, how you would change it, tweak it. All these things are taught in our education course. If you're interested in trading and becoming an independent trader, so we have an education course that can help you get to that level and point. But we are traders. We're here every day. Yesterday we like to average about 4 or 5 trades a day. I think yesterday we exceeded those opportunities, and today we're not so much so. We've had one decent opportunity. If you were a little aggressive, maybe you traded a pivot the first rotation to it off of the high, but otherwise we've been kind of range bound in a tight little range, and we'll see what it wants to do. Just never know which way it's going to go. Could really go either way from here. Support level we have on the downside is 95, and then the 08 already got triggered. Probably looking at 15 on the upside is our next good resistance area. Either way, you're going to keep your stops in place no matter what. That way, yesterday we had that one big break, which, and then all of a sudden things slowed down a little bit, but you have to stay focused on that break and make sure you keep your stops in place and look for the next opportunity, because at the end of the day, we did have the low there and you were able to definitely take more than 2 or 3 points off of that trade, but we did extend our stops a little bit after that break a little bit, at least for half an hour after that, to 4 or 5 points. But today, new day, and things have definitely slowed down here a lot. And again, if anybody has any questions, good time to ask. You can put them in the chat box area there. I do have that window up, so I'll be able to answer any questions that you might have as to anything that we do here, how we do things, stuff like that. All right, market down ticking here just a little bit. Support down at the 95 area. See what it wants to do if it gets down there. All right, well, we just got down to 96 and change there. Floated back up here a little bit. Again, make sure whatever trade you do put on, that keep your stops in place, and that way you keep yourself out of trouble in case they decide to make a move when there's nothing going on. Right. Obviously, market is just chopping around here. Again, we have to be patient and wait for opportunities. We just never know when they're going to present themselves. Did go up to our blue band slash pivot area there. Maybe if you were a little aggressive, maybe you got a little bit short there if you were looking to find a reason to trade that area. Well, we're back up here to uh, our pivot. Again, very, very quiet trade. There we are. Kind of just staying anything above 05. You want to be out of any shorts. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat box. And when it's range bound like this, very, very tight little ranges, doesn't give us too many opportunities. Uh, Again, if you were aggressive there, maybe you sold the O2 area there for a couple of reasons. There's a couple of reasons why you could have sold it. Again, everybody trades their own. I don't. You have to understand the risk that you take and understand the risk that's involved in the trade, and then make the determination on your own. Down here to the 95 area. All right, we drifted down to 96. I got down to 575 there. Again, if you scale in anywhere around the 95 area, maybe you got in there at 96. Nice little rotation there off of that 96 area. Again, we're not going to be perfect, like I keep saying. Consequently, we have to scale into a level. Some of the times it's a little easier to scale in, like depending on how aggressive you want it to be, a half a point above or below, maybe a point above and below. And if we're really moving around and the volatility is up there, we're looking probably about 2 points above and below. But if you did get in there at 96, you did really well, coming all the way back up here to the pivot area. And beyond here. So nice little trade there if you did jump in there at 96 instead of 95. So now if you didn't get to 95, it's a little bit more of a trickier trade if you didn't get filled, right? Unfortunately, as we quickly come back up here. All right, market again, trying to push up here against the 05. It says you don't want to be short here anymore. Quick rotation there off of that level on the downside. All right, got a little volatility there. Again, hopefully you were able, again, depending on how you scaled in, obviously if you had 95, you did not get filled. You have to be careful now at 95. If we go back down there, definitely, maybe if you're going to test the area, maybe take the lower end of the range there, but definitely not take the 95 straight up, depending on how you scale in. So you have to be careful now. We talked about tweaking levels or adjusting them a little bit. This is one situation where you have to consider that based on the price action. All right, market rotated off of that quick low and then coming right back down here. Seems to really get choppy here. Very uneventful, very choppy little trade. And the market doesn't know what it wants to do, and it's trading that way. So again, we were a little bit patient there, waiting for our low on the downside there at 95. Well, we got down to 96 and rotated off of it. Now we're just kind of coming back in here to the middle of this range. So you definitely have to be careful down at the 95 area there if you're going to trade it at all, or just wait for the next level on the downside we have is down at 89. Definitely become a lot more riskier because we went down to right down to 95 and change and then rotated back up here. And again, so we can retest this low here, 95. Again, if it's a little bit too risky, I get it. Just wait for the 89 area. Definitely added more risk here based on the fact that we already got down to 575 before. We did get right down to 95 there, double bottom. So, and if you did not get into the top end, maybe you took the 95 or anything below. Obviously, we didn't get anything below. But now I would not take anything below since we hit the 95 and a nice little double bottom there. So 95 area worked a couple times depending on how aggressive you want it to be or not. All right, next low on downside we have is down at the 89 area. All right, market continues to downtick here. A little support down at 89. Could you've gotten short? Well, you could have gotten short below the 94 area if you were a little aggressive. All right, we're just kind of drifting up here a little bit. Resistance would be around the even area, even the O2. And just kind of don't really have feel for it right now, but use our level on the downside. So 89 is the next support level. We could easily go back into that range we were at this morning. They have definitely pulled a plug here a little bit. I wish I was. The market's putting me to sleep, that's for sure. Can you throw up the numbers, please, for Chad? There we go. Kind of staying a little bit under pressure here, but we'll see. Okay, 89 is our next support area. Pivot there. Pivot is O2. A little resistance around the even O2 area. And whatever it is, make sure you keep your stop in place. All right. Well, we just on the lows there, looking at the 89 area. All right, market coming down here. It got down to 90 there. Pushing back up here a little bit. We're just kind of seeing if we can't get down to the 89 area. Somebody's got a little buying. Somebody's got a little buying spree here at this 90 area. If you can see that by the way the market is trading right. Oh, now you got filled on everything now. There you go. They just said enough. They stopped buying, and they said that's enough. All right, gonna work the 89 area now. Okay, continues to downtick here a little bit. Make sure you keep your stops in place. All right, next support level is down at 81. Let me give you a couple levels here below the 72. We've got 66, 59, and 50. Below the 72, 66, 59, 50, and then 41. Just in case we get a little bit busy here. All right, there they are. Those are the additional levels that we have in place here. In case something happens the rest of the day, who knows? We don't know. All right, market drifting down here to the 81 is our next level of support that we have. Again, you keep your stops in place. We don't love any trade we put on. Okay, getting a little bit choppy here. Some more volatility coming into the market. Coming down here to the 81 area. Just keep your stops in place, right? And again, they seem to add the volatility once we start breaking, usually the case. That's what's going on here. And make sure you keep your stops in place so that you don't get caught. And if you want, to add a little bit more, seems like they're going to give you a little bit more slippage here because of the added volatility. Keep that in mind if you're going to be trading volatility as well. So we gave you levels on the downside that you have to be concerned with. And right now we got resistance back around the 97, 98 area.
Hey, a couple quick programming notes. Wanted to welcome guests coming in today. Welcome aboard. Give you a few days to get acclimated to Saul and his Trade Along Live service. This is the programming of the Trade Along Trading Academy. In the Academy, you can learn how to trade. You can learn to trade better. You can help tune yourself up so that you can trade better on a daily basis. We're focused here in this Trade Along Live session on the S&P 500 E-mini. Saul is your host and mentor. Saul is an active trader. He's been trading for 25 years or so. He is a veteran of the trading pits in Chicago. He's actively scalping for his own trading account. He's also taking some individuals under his wing and teaching them his trading methodology, how he does his business, how he makes his money in his Trade Along Trading Academy class. It's a classroom, a Zoom classroom. You're able to share charts, interact with him, get yourself a headset and a microphone. You can work with him one-on-one, one on a small group, depending on what's being taught. The concept here is how do you become the best trader you can be by working with Saul. So the Academy gives you the opportunity to get tuned up, focused, learn how to set Saul's proprietary scalping levels, and then what to do with the levels. The concepts of price action, the entries, exits, and stops are all taught in private session in the Trade Along Trading Academy Zoom classroom. This session is a standalone. This is the Trade Along Live with Saul on a daily basis from the hours of 9 a.m. to 12 noon on a trading day basis. It is a standalone subscription opportunity, and I'll send out a couple things to you. One is the link to the website where you should take some time for yourself to review what the offers are based on these services. Click on the link, it'll take you over. And then I have an opportunity for those, and I found it again today. I thought it was going to be gone, so you might want to take advantage of it before it's gone, but that's up to you. For those that are guests and coming in for a bit, here's an opportunity to become part of the family. You can do that by reviewing these links in the verbiage that I sent out that starts out with special discount. Lock yourself in. If you do get that rate, the discounted rate, it does roll over if you choose. Everything is done between you and PayPal so that you can keep it, let it roll over at the discounted price, or you can cancel it. It's up to you. It's your relationship with PayPal and your relationship, obviously, with us, but you have the control, which is great. You don't have to call us or ask any questions. You can just go in there and keep it if you want or cancel it. It's up to you. We don't get a lot of people canceling. Individuals stick around with Saul for a long time. You know, the results are in when it comes to longevity. Saul has been doing this for quite some time. Started out as a ask from one of his associates to help somebody. He turned down that ask for some time, and now we ended up here, which is just a unique opportunity for individual traders. And it also helps Saul out because it keeps him current, vital, and alive. And it also helps him in his trading when it comes to focus and interacting with you, fine people out there. So here we are, another trading day. It's pretty close to 11:30. If you haven't banked your money for the day, ask for help. Ask for a private trading consultation. If you're interested in getting better at your trade, you may have some talent, but you want to develop consistent profitability, look on the website and look for Saul's trading mentoring. And his trading mentoring comes in a bundle where it gives you access to this part of Saul's services, Trade Along Live session, as a bonus or free. It lasts for a year. So the opportunity to really work yourself into a good trader. The best trader you can be based on working with Saul in private session in the Trading Academy. And then coming over here on a daily basis as you apply your newfound trading skills, and also working with Saul when it comes to this Trade Along Live session. So it's a dual opportunity. One is to buckle down and learn in private class, come in and apply it in this Trade Along Live session, or just join the Trade Along Live session where you trade along live with Saul during the morning session, receive his proprietary scalping levels. Hey, Michael, how are you? And Michael, you have Saul's levels, right? From this morning? A lot of the action of price and the opportunity in and around his levels is all dictated by price action. It's also flexible because of the action of price during the morning session. So that's why Saul calls them levels and zones. And absolutely during the session as a subscriber, don't hesitate to ask him about particular areas and what's happening. You also, when you come in, you can ask him for an update on how the market is doing, what it's doing, what it's been doing, and he'll give you a quick overview so that you can have better focus based on this morning's opportunity. The band here is from 9:30 to 11:30 generally. And again, if you haven't gotten it done or you're not happy with what you're doing, ask for a trading consultation. We'll see if we can help you. Trading is about making money and defending yourself against losses. It's a very simple concept, very hard to do. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Trading is very easy to do. It grants access to a lot of people. The concept of being good at it and being disciplined at it, like a gambler versus a professional gambler, is where the rub is. And you have to make that value decision for yourself. It's not for everybody. Working with somebody like Saul is a real gift, in my humble opinion. Having him available to teach you is a gift. Some people take us up on that gift. Other people don't. You just can't stay here. I think that's one of the keys. So either you're a subscriber of this Trade Along Live session with Saul, or you're a individual that is signed up and working with Saul based on his class time. And again, you get bonus access for a year to this side of the equation. So if you do the math, it's a great opportunity for you, especially if you pick the bundle. So Saul could be popping in and out. You also have Don popping in and out from time to time, Mark popping in out from time to time. They are individuals that were part of Saul's or are still part of Saul's other side of the equation, the academy side. They are schooled in Saul's approach. They're applying Saul's approach in their trading. They've added to it based on their own capabilities. They've taken things out that aren't working for them. And you can certainly decide to do the same thing. Hey, Anand, how are you? Angelina, Barbara, Christoph, let me know. I saved you today. Hopefully you appreciate that. Daniel, Diane, Edward, Gavin, Harry, let me know what you're doing. When I reach out to you, it's for feedback. I don't want you to get just exited. Sometimes we think you're a bot. We're not sure what you're doing. Hey, Kenneth, KG, Kent, welcome aboard. Thank you. Michael. Hey, Roop, Timothy. Hey, Michael. So you're more than welcome to do that. Would you like to do that? It is your prerogative. And just give me a quick note. Are you signed up for Saul's I mean, take advantage of his discount. Okay. I mean, I think that that's important to do. You know, I think what individuals should do, and this is just me, it's just a roadmap, is that you come in as a guest, you transition into a paid subscriber, which is great. You spend a little time, you receive Saul's levels in the morning, you listen to his commentary, and it's interesting because you have a couple different sets of commentary here. You got the general macro stuff that's going on, and then the micro is the action in and around his pre-mapped out levels. So Saul is really distracting himself. So if you think about it, Saul is laying out prices that he's looking at the market to visit, and then he's looking to take action in and around those prices. So that's really what this is. It's the action of price in and around pre-mapped out levels, his pivot and his other levels on top and bottom of the pivot. You could have a pivot trade right out of the gate. You know, if you have a trading methodology, that is a unique help for you in your trading for the morning session to learn to bank your money. So you have Sol as your guide. You have pre-mapped out levels given out to you that you can load into your software. And then Sol's commentary from an educational point of view only in and around those pre-mapped out levels, whether it's a fade trade, short trade, momentum trade, long trade. Now, if you, as a trader, found yourself focusing on Sol's levels and his commentary, in my humble opinion, you have a huge leg up on other traders. And that's why individuals stay here, because they recognize that. They look forward to getting Sol's levels on a daily basis. They have no issue paying for Sol's levels because they find that his levels give them a opportunity and an advantage to make money in their trading. I would venture to guess, and think about it this way, I would venture to guess that individuals that are part of this service on a daily basis bank more money than the monthly rate for this service. And that is because of this service, Sol's levels, and Sol. And they're ecstatic to pay. They don't care. It's meaningless to them because they are gaining, in their opinion, a trading advantage and a wingman based on the action of price for this morning's session. It's like trading with a seasoned veteran and then helping you from an educational point of view. The concept of going into private class is that lasts a year and it costs X. The concept here is you're working with a 25-year veteran trader to your benefit and being schooled and tweaked, added to based on a price action trading methodology, and being able to do that on a daily basis for a year, trading day basis. Doesn't get much better than that, but you have to understand and appreciate it or not. We give individuals time to do that, and then we ask you to make your decision, or as they say in, I don't know where, beat it. Stay and be the part of the ball or go off and do something else. What's nice thing about freedom is you have the freedom to come and go as you please and take up an opportunity or not. There's no harm, no foul. We try to give people rope. It's a sort of a push when it comes to that. Like, there are a couple people that are part of our service that I know are capable of making a decision for themselves and just haven't made it yet. Or they're waiting to get exited and they're just milking the thing until they can milk it to the end. And that's a tough balance for us here. And that's why we turn it over to the mean old bot to be able to toss people out. I can intercede on your behalf, and I do that. Saul can do the same. But generally, when it gets, so we were coming into the end of the year, people are unsure about what they're doing. As we come into the new year, right now it's the 4th of January. Give it a couple more days, and then we'll have a weed out party where we'll just exit people. If you do get exited, I give out the telephone number. It's on the website. If you want to come back in, great. We'll welcome you with open arms, but we want you to make sure that you're part of the family and you're involved. Trading is a very easy endeavor to delude yourself into thinking you're doing well when you're really doing poorly. If you're not making, in my opinion, 500 to 1,000 a day, then what's the point? Raising contract size and the idea of adding multiple contracts really does create a unique and accessible business for people, but you have to be good at it. There's a lot of people out there that are good at the talking part of the game, but terrible at the trading part of the game. And then the excuse stuff, which is normal. Blame everybody else but yourself routine. And then there's the exit strategy based on trading, is where your significant other sneaks up behind you while you're on your computer claiming to make money, and they hit you over the head with an iron pan and throw you outside to get a minimum wage job, even though the minimum wage is going up. It could be a good place to go. Okay, so Michael, take advantage of that link because it's not on the website. If you're interested in the trading education, let's say you come into the Trade Along Live part and you're in it for a month or so and you would like to upgrade into the trading education, then I can do that for you. It's not automatically done on the website. So I would work you based on getting you set up for that. So if you need the links again, let me know. I think they should be. You were here when I sent them out. They're right in your, and I would pick the 3 months because it's even better deal. And that would roll over at that discounted price too, so that you can always keep it. But if you decide to do that today, and then I'll let you know in the background if I'll let you know in the background that I authorized you for it to roll over. And I will do that for you. I think 2022 is going to be a great year for everything, which probably means it's going to stink right now. I think it's going to be good for volatility. I think it's going to be good for all sorts of assets. I think it's going to be a free-for-all. And that can be a good thing. But that's just my humble opinion. Diane, let me know what you're thinking. Barbara, the same. Angelina, the same. Gavin, Harry, let me know what you're thinking. Kenneth, how are you doing? Kent, welcome aboard. Roop. Michael, let me know. Timothy. Right now, we're coming into the 11:30 hour. It is January 4th, 2022. Everything we do is for educational purposes only. If you are interested in joining or having somebody else join us, tradealonglive.com, tradealonglive.com. If you're looking to learn how to trade, tradealongtradingacademy.com, tradealongtradingacademy.com. We are here every day, trading days. Trading is about freedom. We like to bank our money during the morning session and be finished for the day. That's really important because the activity in the afternoon session is geared towards the academy. Saul could be in private class working with an individual that's part of his services, his educational services. And again, we grant access to this side of the equation, the Trade Along Live session, as a bonus for those that are part of his trading mentoring and training. It's all revealed on the website, so take a moment for your benefit to read the website and join us. And again, if you like what we're doing here, tell your friends.